To our second training of 2022. As you can see on the screen, we're going to be heading through the sleep training. We're going to be making sure we're covering the aspects of giving you the information of what is sleep, the science behind sleep, tools and routines that you can implement to improve your sleep, and looking at supplementation. We're excited to get you through this. Very grateful to have you here at this particular time. Sarah, is there anything you'd like to add?
All good. No, we've got
awesome, guys.
for you. And the most important thing, things that you can literally go away and do tonight.
Awesome, guys. So we're going to be touching on the 5 key pillars to understand and improve your sleep. And these are the following: sleep statistics and facts.
What is sleep?
Sleep hygiene and routines.
Supplements.
And sleep tracking. Okay, let's move in, guys. So the first one we're going to go through is your sleep stats and facts.
Did you struggle to say that then?
Yes. Okay, guys. So the top 4 sleep stats for the UK as of 2021 to 2020 is 36% of the adults in the UK struggle to fall asleep at least once a week. Who out of you guys would fall into that 36%? Interesting. Oh, 3.
Oh, that's higher odds in the room.
So what's that odds? That's 1.
3/4. That's like 75%.
Awesome. Okay. So again, this will be very useful to you guys moving forward. 35% of the individuals in the UK said lack of proper sleep made them anxious. Who can resonate with that? Worst nightmare. 4 in 10 adults said that poor sleep has made them feel more stressed. Absolutely. 43% of UK citizens stated that poor sleep made them irritable or angry. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what this means for you, pay attention to how you get to sleep as opposed to how much sleep you're having. Concentrate on sleep quality. Concentrate on sleep quality to help you improve feelings of anxiety. And you can reduce your stress by improving the quality of your sleep. Irritation and anger caused by inefficient sleep can cause bad mood swings, poor relationships, and poor work performance and much more. I know that when I've not had a good night's sleep, and then it doesn't matter how organised I was the night before, if I then didn't have a good night's sleep, I'm rushing about in the morning, like stolen an extra 5 minutes in bed, I've then behind schedule, I can't find my keys, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So that sets me off wrong, and then the whole day is me chasing my tail, all because I didn't get a good night's sleep. Ultimately, everything you do for your health starts at sleep. So obviously we work in a gym, and what we're promoting for you is healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, hitting them PBs, coming in and getting a good workout. But what is the point in all of that if you didn't have a good night's sleep in the first place? So this literally is the foundation.
Is there anything that's shocked you guys on those particular stats? Not necessarily. Awesome. Okay. But can you obviously respect and value the fact that sleep, it literally starts from the night before the sleep and then that morning, in order to really transform how you are at work, relationships, your performance in the gym, etc. It's an important one. So please try and listen carefully and take away what you can from how we're going to move forward. So, what is sleep? Can anybody answer that question?
Tammy, what is sleep? Sorry to put you on the spot. Go on.
Read off the board if you want. Okay, guys. So just a quick overview. We're not going to go into too much detail on this, but sleep is made up into 5 stages, 5 cycles. Okay, it's broken up into 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then REM sleep. Okay, so stage 1, light sleep, we're drifting in and out of sleep and can be awoken easily. So have you ever had that particular sleep where you're drifting off and you jump and then Sasha next to you think, Alan, what the f are you doing? It's the worst thing. Or you're hitting some, yeah, quite often. So that's stage 1 of your sleep. Okay, stage 2, our eye movements stop and our brain waves become slower. Okay, this burst of rapid waves called sleep spindles. Okay, stage 3 and 4, it's very difficult to wake somebody during these particular stages, which together are called deep sleep. Okay, who guys here track their sleep? You have done. So you'll find that I often used to find I wanted to be in this more than anywhere else, but actually they're all very important parts of the puzzle of your sleep. So make sure you pay attention. If you are going to track, you want all of them stages. So who here has woken up from a particular sleep and they felt groggy, like they've been run over by a bus, want to just go back to sleep? That is because you've woken up in these 2 stages. Is that quite often? Well, we've got something just for you on a later slide that Sarah's created. Okay? And then last sleep, REM sleep. Who's heard of REM sleep? Yeah, that is, I think it's the blue aspect Oh no, it's the red aspect of your sleep once you're tracking, guys, on any app that you've got. We do want to be within here. Our breathing becomes quite rapid, irregular. Eyes start to jerk rapidly in various directions, and limb muscles become temporarily paralyzed.
It always makes me think about when, you know, like when you see like a dog or like puppy sleeping, they're like,
yeah.
Like they go like running and stuff. It's like that really, really deep sleep state. It's difficult to wake up. So,
that is the later end of your sleep cycle, so you'll find that after that particular sleep there are particular things that can happen within that cycle. If you have a read there, you can see that. Let's move on. So, the science behind sleep.
We all have an internal body clock that lets us know when we feel tired and awake. And this operates on a normal 24-hour cycle, the circadian rhythm. Light affects our clock, so the main thing I can basically let you know about that is, if you didn't already, the reason why you used to like talk about feeling really awake in summer, and like, oh, I feel great in summer, like, I get loads of stuff done at night time, like, I just feel like I want to do more, I want to get out more, that kind of stuff, is because the light is telling you it's daytime, we're awake. It's literally that basic. In the morning, you feel like, oh, I can get up in the morning in summer because the light is there and it's telling you to get awake. The way that you can really utilise that to your advantage is the moment that you wake up, rather than like hobbling around the house, like snuggling into your dressing gown, making a brew, like keeping your eyes half closed, being like, oh my god, I'm gonna get back in bed and drink my brew, and staying in the little cave in the dark. Get the curtains open, look at the light while you drink your brew, get as much daylight, natural daylight, in as soon into your day as possible, and that's going to help you feel more awake quickly. And that's it. I just did the jazzed up version.
So that is the science behind the sleep-wake cycle. Sarah's gone into how we wake up. On the opposite end, what comes up must come down, and melatonin is a production of a hormone that's released within us naturally that then tells us, right, we're starting to feel quite drowsy, it's night time, we need to start to go to sleep and try and relax. We find that the darkness actually induces that. So what we try and find is, sometimes this is quite difficult to produce if your stress levels are quite high, you're quite in an anxious state, cortisol's blocking that particular hormone. Cortisol's the stress hormone, so we've got to make sure we are trying to produce as much of that as we can. Quick one on the, as the sun is rising in that morning, it is okay for cortisol to actually be released. Sometimes we often see cortisol as a bad thing that actually is essential in making us feel awake. So quick tip, when we snooze our alarm, we are telling our body to release cortisol all those times that we are pressing snooze. So as soon as you pressed it once, it's released. Press it again, it's released again. So you're already waking up in a very, very stressed state. Has anybody felt like that after they've snoozed? Not only because they felt guilty, but also you're pissed off because you have stayed in bed a little bit longer, you're angry and you're tired. Who's felt like that? Sasha. I'm just going to, right, can you guys go? We're just going to aim this at Sasha today. Sorry? You get straight up. Yeah, weekend. Yeah. Absolutely.
If you're anything like me, Sasha, the thing that I tell myself is, if I get that extra 10 minutes of sleep, it's going to make me feel better, and actually it's doing the complete opposite. I should have just woken up,
agreed.
And I would have felt better then.
Absolutely. So just to recap what Sarah said, please, if you want to wake up feeling fresh, get exposure to that daylight as soon as you can inside those eyes. Right, let's move on.
Although please don't go looking directly into the sun. I can't see anymore, Kyle.
Quick one on this, guys. If you want to take a picture of that, this is just giving you a brief indication as to how much sleep that you actually need. So for us, I'm loving this. For us, we're mostly down here, 26 to 64 years, and we need between 7 and 9 hours. Who here gets between that? Who gets more, who gets less? 6 to 9.
What do you get?
5 hours, so I don't know where I'm at. That doesn't exist. Holy shit, that's telling me something, isn't it?
That's telling you something.
But again, at the beginning of this seminar, what did we say about length of sleep and quality of sleep? What's actually quite important? It's okay having 7 to 9 hours, but if you're not actually relaxed or getting the good quality, the quality is so important. So I do make sure that the 5 hours I'm getting is top notch. Although we have got a dog who doesn't sleep, so.
Does that include power naps?
Power naps, I don't include them. Although, if you do try and get a nap in the day, we're coming on to this anyway. Thank you. let's move on.
Get it all away.
That's you, egging me on here. Right, sleep hygiene. Has anybody actually heard of that term, sleep hygiene? Yeah. Yes. How did you know that? Awesome. Right, sleep hygiene and routines. Let's move on into that.
Okay, signs of poor sleep hygiene: difficulty falling asleep, waking up feeling tired and lethargic, struggling to stay asleep, waking up really early in the morning without intending to. Does this sound like you? Yes, peeps.
Okay, like, stay tuned. Why is sleep hygiene important? So there's got three main things that we've been able to understand from implementing good sleep hygiene for clients. It's great for physical and mental health. It is great for improving productivity levels, whether that is first thing in the morning when you get everything ready for work. Whilst you're at work, that's the very, very important one because that's where you're spending a lot of your time. And overall quality of life improvements, whether that is, like I said, I touched on this, relationships, your own personal development as well, and that's an important one. You are in charge of that. That's your own personal hygiene, and that starts with your sleep hygiene as well. Sleep hygiene is made up of both environmental factors and our own habits. So environmental could actually be the light in your room that is coming through the windows, and then on your own aspect as well could be how are you trying to switch off at night. So that's your own internal habit, and then the external environment. So remember, you're both in charge of those.
And you can change them, which is a great thing.
Absolutely.
Optimising your sleep hygiene. Good sleep hygiene is all about putting yourself in the best position to sleep well every single night. Optimise your sleep schedule, so deciding on when you're going to go to bed, what the lead is going to be, when you're going to turn your tech off before bed, how light or dark the room is going to be, having a pre-bed routine. It might involve some of those things. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Daily routines in the daytime. So I know that the more sluggish I am in the daytime, the less I can sleep at night. Whereas if I do get out, if I do go for a walk or run, if I'm busy in the day, I get home and I ain't got a choice. I want to go to sleep. I'm like, let me go to bed right now. And then creating a pleasant bedroom environment. So not like taking work to bed, which Kyle used to do.
First year of opening this business, I used to take my laptop and my work to bed.
With her?
With her.
You said you took it with a beer?
Oh, sorry, yeah, with a San Miguel in a bowl. Do you remember that, El? First year. Work in bed and alcohol to try and get me to relax.
No. And again, it's these things that you think that you're doing that are helping you that obviously have the complete opposite effect. A handful of tips can help in each of these areas. They aren't rigid requirements, but you can adapt them to fit your circumstances. Create your own sleep hygiene checklist to help you get the best sleep possible.
Okay, so touching on a few of these guys, quite easy, bedtime routines, the relaxation methods. You are constantly stimulated from the moment you get up. We've got to make sure we're switching off, producing that melatonin. So meditation, guided breathing, paced breathing, pause breathing, reading a book. Has any of you guys done any of these or doing any of these currently? What do you find works for you?
More on the breathing aspect.
Yes.
And the deeper, slower breath and bringing it down and then,
Gone. Absolutely. Have you guys tried any of that at all?
Read the book, but then I get too glued to it and I just can't.
I was just going to say, actually, yeah, it's like read with caution, nothing
Well,
too
Sarah said this.
stimulating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nothing like I might listen to like a casual chit-chatty podcast, but I wouldn't be listening to a podcast about training in the gym because then I'd be like, oh god, yeah, I should do that. Oh, fuck it, imagine I did that, and then I did that in a class and I didn't do, and then I'm going. Whereas if it's just kind of something that's like neither here nor there, if anything, perhaps something that's a little bit boring or just something that's just totally average, you're more likely to be able to just like listen to it and let it drone out.
Do that in the toilet, I stick it on in background. Something I've seen, something I've watched.
Yes.
Just for the noise and then I'm gone.
Yeah, that's okay, yeah.
Don't watch it.
We'll move on into that actually, as to how you can take that to another level, to utilise that sound, but actually try and get rid of the light as well. That's an important one. We'll touch on that. Journaling, stretching, and yoga and mobility. Who here has implemented any of them before bed?
Stretching.
Yeah. Awesome. Journaling's a good one. It's nice to just that you've had a lot of thoughts throughout the day. How many decisions do we have to make on a daily basis?
Oh, it's obscene.
It's like 75,000 or something, or millions. I'm not sure.
Like, what top do I wear today? Where did I leave my keys?
Yes.
Or I'll take my lunch. I need to take a fork for my lunch. oh, I need one out of the dishwasher, where's this, where's that? Like decision. So your brain's like, well, what? And they're obviously like little decisions that you make, but when you've got to make big ones, and then you know that they've got to carry over to tomorrow, you might regret the decision you made. Sitting down and actually writing in your journal, it might take 5 minutes, it might take longer if you've got the luxury of the time. Getting them out so they're on the page allows you to go, right, okay, I don't need to deal with that now, I don't need to try to remember that thing for tomorrow, because I wrote it down. I'll just read the book in the morning. So that helps. It helps me.
Absolutely. Tech breaks, big one. The biggest thing, I mean, you mentioned this the other night as well. You and Matt turn phones off, social media off.
Yeah, we've got phones on the island in the kitchen after about 8 o'clock now. Probably like check them over before I go to bed, but we're not stimulating ourselves by looking at Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff late at night anymore, not really. Because it would be things like I see that and I think, oh God, I need to, why don't I train in the morning? Or why don't I eat that? Or I need to make that recipe. And all these decisions going round in your head, and you think that you're just mindlessly scrolling, but you're just taking it all in and putting this pressure on yourself, and then it's like, can't get to sleep. Slasher! Smirking on it. Don't toss and turn. So here's a big one. Whatever you do when you eventually go to bed, if it ain't happening for you, if you can't get to sleep, I wouldn't recommend just staying there for an hour and thinking, oh my God, let me sleep, like squeezing your eyes shut. If these things haven't worked, or things that usually won't haven't worked, get up, move, stretch, go downstairs. Don't make anything with caffeine, but maybe get yourself a glass of water, have a sec, and then like recalibrate and have a go again, rather than just laying there and being like, oh my God, let me sleep.
Ironing?
Yeah, don't start doing the ironing. It's all coming out now, isn't it? Oh my God.
Awesome.
If there's something on your mind, keep a note by your bed, and then write in whatever it is that you are thinking of, so you know it's there in the morning.
Awesome. Is any of them useful you guys could probably try and take away from here? And again, it's not rigid, it's not something you have to go away and do all of them.
If you were going to pick one thing each, just to put you on the spot, what would you pick if you had to? Tech break.
Quick tip on that, there are applications you can download on your phone to block applications being used, so bear that in mind. I have an Instagram. Oh, all right, she's worked her way around it. You can have reminders set up on your phone to give you an understanding of how much time you're spending on that as well. I have that on all my social media platforms. I allow no longer than 15 minutes per day, and it really helps just take a fucking break from that technology. So important.
I was excited because the real good one was coming up.
I think this is a good one.
This is great.
This is great.
Yours,
Brilliant. Right guys, so let's take a break together. I want you to just try and get quite comfortable for me. We're going to implement some breathing, okay guys? So if you feel quite uncomfortable with this, I want you to try it anyway because it's very beneficial, okay? So I just want you to sit comfortably. I just want everything to relax for me, okay? Bring your shoulders from your ears, and if you've got your tongue on the roof of your mouth, I just want you to drop that as well. And just have a light focus around the room. Don't focus on anything in particular. And if you feel comfortable, I just want you to just softly close your eyes. And we're going to take a deep breath in for 4 seconds via your nose. I want you to hold your breath for 4 seconds. You're going to exhale for 4. And we're going to repeat that again. In for 4. Be mindful of taking a deep breath in via that nose. Hold the breath, keep your core tight. Exhale and let yourself relax into that seat beneath you. And just sit with those thoughts. Brilliant, guys. And then just start to bring yourself back in there. So give me some feedback as to what you felt after that, what you didn't feel, whether it felt any better or any different. What did you feel? Yeah, I understand you're in a room that's it's busy usually in here to exercise, so it's quite hard to try and switch that relaxation on, but Alan nearly fell asleep. I saw him pivot backwards then. But essentially, yeah.
Every
Awesome.
time that I meditate or take a second to breathe like that, I always have this same thought. And the thought that I have is, I never do this. Like, why do I never let myself Like, how long was that? Like 30 seconds. And unless I'm going to sleep, I never just like take a second, ever. And even when I'm going to sleep, my mind's like, la la la, whatever, like thinking about things or whatever, before I go to sleep. I never actually do just, and then I always think to myself, God, this feels good, I should do it more often.
Absolutely.
Every time.
You've got to clear your mind.
100%.
Yeah,
We never get
exactly
chance
that.
to be bored. We're always do.
trying to,
But
like,
it's
fill
so
in
good to be
the
bored.
book.
Absolutely. So try that in the day as well. Again, the daily habits always come towards that sleep aspect as well. So implementation of that at some point in your day would be extremely beneficial. Sarah's, let's go. This is amazing.
So it's not my idea.
No.
It's not my idea. But when I was in uni, I used to struggle to get to sleep. And I randomly one day I saw this article about how you can work out your sleep cycles in order to optimise your sleep. Going back to what Kyle was saying earlier on about the different stages of sleep, so that you can make sure that you basically wake up at the right time. So those cycles, or those stages that Kyle was talking about before, they operate in 90-minute cycles. So if you've ever, let's say for example, I'll do this bit first. So you work out the mountain cycle, so they're 90-minute increments there, stages. It would be better for me to wake up at the end of a cycle at 5:30 a.m. than to give myself an extra half an hour in bed, thinking, I need another half an hour, wake up at 6 o'clock, in the middle of a cycle where I'm about to enter deep sleep, and my body's like, what on earth is going on? It would literally be better for me to wake up half an hour earlier. So by working out, when you roughly fall asleep, obviously it's difficult because you go and get in bed and you might not fall asleep straight away, but as closely as you can to 90-minute stages, if you wake up at the end of the cycle, those are those chance days that we don't, when we're not tracking or when we're not planning, where you wake up and you think, right, I can take today. Well, actually, it probably isn't because you just had this magical sleep. It's actually because you happened to accidentally wake up at the end of a cycle. But if you utilise that and worked it out in 90-minute stages, so that you did wake up at the end of the cycle, you'd feel fresher more often. Obviously, other things come into play. If you didn't get a lot of sleep, if you had a bad day the day before, if you didn't have a good bedtime routine or the quality wasn't good, that plays a part in how fresh you feel when you wake up. But this is one way that you can literally calculate what is the most likely way that I'm going to wake up feeling fresh. So it would be better to wake up at 5:30 or 7. Deciding to give yourself another 15 minutes until 7:15 and snooze your alarm, you're now entering another sleep cycle. Your body's going, oh, okay. Plus you've hit the snooze button, so you sent off the cortisol, your body's going, okay, and then the alarm goes off, and now your body's like, what is going on? I thought we were sleeping again. And then you're trying to run around, find your keys, get ready for work, and you're wondering why you feel rubbish. So, aim to set your alarm for the end of the cycle, depending on how much sleep you want. Ideally, 6 cycles will get you in between that 7 and 9 hour mark.
Does anyone find that quite useful?
It's very rare I don't wake up naturally without an alarm.
Nice.
Very, very rare. Odd occasion.
So it might very well be that you're waking up when, is that what you say, like you're waking up at probably the end of the cycle anyway? Unless something's woken you up.
As soon as it's like, when we go to bed, I can get sleep an hour and a half before Sash. And it's simple fact that when I feel that my body's drifting, I let it go.
Yeah.
And just go
You can go to
naturally.
sleep, can't
Yeah.
And basically then, like I say, it's like this morning I will wake at probably about 4:30 and waited then through till, just cat naps as I call it, through to 6 o'clock, just lay quiet.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then, like, talking about napping earlier on, Carol's sort of saying, like, if your optimum nap times are about 20 minutes or 90 minutes based on this idea, because you've done stage 1 and 2, you've not yet gone into your deep sleep and then you allow yourself to wake up. That's okay for a nap, or the full 90 minutes. But it's really typical that people go, I'm just going to go and have an hour. And then you wake up and you feel like a slug, and you're like, why do I feel worse than I did before? Well, your body's like, are we not sleeping now? What's going on? Like, your mind does not get to control the rhythm of your sleep, really. Like, that is what your body needs. That's the cycle it works in. So it's about you working around that rather than going, we're going to have 45 minutes because I say so. And you will feel fresh at the end of it, because it just ain't going to happen.
Awesome. Okay, so just to go into that a little bit more detail, set a sleep schedule, try and wake up at the same time every single day or within 30 minutes.
Even on the weekends.
Even on the weekends. So it's often, Yes, Sasha's there thinking. So that's, if you think about it, go back to the very beginning, our body operates on a 24-hour cycle, circadian rhythm. If you're then messing with that particular cycle come the weekend, that's going to throw that particular biological aspect out. So just be mindful of that.
The biology of your body does not know what Saturday and Sunday are. It'd be like me saying to Olive, like my dog, like, it's Saturday, it's Sunday. It's just a day. She just wakes up. Like, your body is like, why are we getting up now? It doesn't know that it's Saturday. Your mind does, but the biology, the chemistry of your body has no idea. So you just mess it up from the off.
Think about this for a second. When we prioritize things, workload, families, meals that you're having for the week, your training schedule, you get that shit done. You get it done because it's a priority to you, because it serves a purpose, it's complementing the goal. The sleep is the exact same thing, the routine for the sleep. Treat that as an exercise class in itself.
The goal. Because if you get the sleep right, everything else goes on top of it.
Do it all slowly. What we're teaching and coaching tonight, we don't implement with clients to do literally from tomorrow. We want to make sure that you're implementing that as you go along. Remember, it's not rigid, so add it in as you're moving on. If you think, I'm going to try that tonight, let's try it. It's what's going to work for you. So don't feel that you've got to be doing everything in 24 hours. Don't overdo it with naps. If you are going to take them, don't do it too late on in the day. So if you've had a nap at 5 o'clock, the chances are you're going to struggle to get to sleep later that night. A quick tip as well, who knows the amount of time it takes for caffeine to actually kick into our system?
You know,
to the minute. It takes 19 minutes.
19 minutes.
So sometimes what people often do as soon as they wake up, they will try and take a coffee on board straight away. But you're actually playing around with your body's natural wake-up cycle of its hormones it's trying to release. So the cortisol, we've got epinephrine, which is linked with, I think it's the anxiety aspect. We need to release these things. And our, the hormone of adrenaline needs to be released. So if you're then trying to take caffeine on board, it's skewing it, thinking, whoa, I need to try and naturally produce all of these. Just try and hold that off a little bit. But yeah, 19 minutes it takes to kick in. If you're going to have a nap, set it for 20 minutes later. Caffeine kicks in, you're ready to take on the world.
Caffeine!
I love caffeine. I love caffeine.
It's not just bedtime habits that play a part in getting good sleep. Incorporating positive routines during the day can support your circadian rhythm and limit sleep disruptions. Now, big one for me more and more recently is getting daylight exposure. Just because it ain't beaming sunshine outside doesn't mean you can't get daylight exposure. Even when it's cloudy, that's daylight exposure. 20 minutes minimum a day. The impact of that in terms of your intake of vitamin D is really important for regulating your sleep and getting good habits in place ready for your sleep that night. Be physically active, like I was saying before. If I do loads of exercise that day, if I'm moving around loads that day, I'm more likely to sleep at night. Reduce your alcohol consumption, no more than 14 units. Cut down on caffeine in the afternoon and evening. I've stopped drinking coffee. Originally it was 2 o'clock, but I've taken it back a little bit. I'm about 1 o'clock now. I still have quite a few in the morning though. Does anybody have a coffee after 2? Or a Red Bull? Or a tea?
Oh no, you can't, can you? It's interesting. I just recently took a client on last week who was coming in with poor sleep, very low stress levels, and we were delving further into why, what, etc. Waking up at 4:30 a.m. every day on the dot, which was at the end of a particular cycle. And we looked at her caffeine. She was drinking coffee up until 10 p.m. at night. She took that out this week from 3 o'clock. It's best she's slept in 20, 30 years. So it's just a little bit of a change. It's for something to be mindful of.
If you're drinking so much coffee, you don't feel the impact. Like, if
Yeah.
you never drank coffee, you had a cup of coffee, you'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Or like, you never had Red Bull and had Red Bull. But like, when you're doing it all the time, it's like, oh, it's just the coffee. And it's not really having that much of a noticeable impact. So you can just drink it till 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
but actually, it is having an impact that you don't notice. Don't eat late. Now, in the nutrition seminar, we did say that all calories are sort of like they're not created equal, but in terms of input and output, if you want to be in a calorie deficit, or you want to maintain calories, or you're watching your calories in any kind of way, it doesn't really matter that you have that slice of toast at 10 o'clock at night. However, it might impact when you sleep. So if you can stop eating by about 8 o'clock at night, no late night caramel wafers. Guilty. Then you're more likely to be able to sleep a little bit better. You haven't got anything heavy on your stomach. I'm not reading that. You wrote that.
The quick one on the eating aspect. Think about it. Your gut is a muscle, so essentially, if your gut is trying to digest, it's working. Try not to eat too much at night. I'm really bad for it, to be fair. I eat literally
as well as
till
that,
half
you get
9
in
at
bed
night.
and then like you lie down and there's no gravity really, so your food is just like sat there, and your gut's trying to help you digest it. It's just sat there like it's not being used for a lot. You're going to sleep, so
absolutely.
So try and refrain from eating the next one.
And then restrict in-bed activity. Cough, cough.
Right before you go to sleep.
Yes.
Not just forever.
No.
Get the bedroom ready. It's good that that follows the other one. Have a comfortable mattress and pillow. You're supposed to check your mattress like every 8 years, supposedly. It's not necessarily you've got to go out there spending a fortune, but if you've had a mattress for a lot, absolute yonks, you think about how long you spend in bed. If you spend between 7 and 9 hours a day in your bed, like, you should be really spending more on that mattress than you spend on the clothes that you wear. Like, you should be spending more on that mattress than you do on the skin cream you put on. Like, you spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of your life in that bed. It should be a good one. It should be good quality that suits you. Firm or soft mattress, whatever it is you need. There's loads of help in just like effectively your silent night showrooms and stuff like that. So get one that suits you. The bedding that you use. If you've always had a feather pillow and you think, oh, I never sleep properly, change your pillow. Get like a pillow that supports you. Try a different one. Set a cool, comfortable temperature. This is really hard for me because I love being snug as a bug in a rug. I love like my dressing gown, my slippers, I love it all. However, I can't sleep well, and I wonder why I can't sleep well, and it's because I need the temperature to be a little bit cooler than I actually think I want it to be. Open the window, get the fan on, maybe not right now while the electric prices are going up, open the window, get somebody else to fan you manually, do whatever it is you need to do, but get the temperature down. Block out light. If you've got TV and it's got those little like dots on it, it's shining in your room the whole time, block it off, get a little bit of blue tack on it, make sure you've got blackout curtains, or have a look at the way the light comes in.
Shouldn't, first off,
You can turn it off with a switch.
Don't have a TV in the bedroom. Don't have a TV in the bedroom.
Don't have a TV in the bedroom.
But no. I think you should try an eye
I
mask.
actually have a door to hide it behind part of my wardrobe. So
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Right, there you go. You're right there.
Alright, entertainers sister in the bedroom. Drown out noise with earplugs if you feel comfortable wearing them. We live on a road that isn't busy, but like cars come up from where they leave the 30 mile an hour zone, they enter the 60 mile an hour. People usually start speeding up before our house, and they're flying past. And half the time it's like, and it wakes you up like it's loud, they're revving their engines like in cool boy races or whatever. So earplugs if you feel comfortable wearing them, and try some calming scents. You said you got sleep spray.
We use lavender spray,
So
don't we?
imagine like, Kyle going to bed and like, sprinting.
Works well. We spray it on the dog's pillow as well, so don't fucking work. Move.
Massage gun.
What do you mean?
You use a massage gun. You just before I go to sleep 9 to 10 times.
Why? Where?
Normally, wherever I train that day.
Right. Interesting. Alan's
Now we
the
know
epitome
how
of
to
sleep.
sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, will all of these things help me sleep better?
Potentially.
Yeah.
It all depends. What works for Sarah may not work for Sasha, may not work for you, Kaylee, may not work for me. But it's a thing, it's about trialing. That's the main thing. In short, these are all basic fundamental things to start improving your sleep quality. Adjust one thing at once and see if it works. So it's like almost if something's broke on your car but you're not quite sure what it is, don't change everything all at once. Try and minimize and find that actual problematic area and then change that. If it didn't work, find the next thing.
They are tried and tested methods across the globe, so we've done a lot of research in putting this together. And it seems that we've experienced ourselves as well. The one thing that I think about here is, and it surprises me, you know, like before when I was doing the breathing, and I said afterwards that I was like, you know, I was thinking to myself, why don't I do that more? Or I know that makes me feel better, so why don't I do it? It's like we take for granted that, like, you know, I just sleep every night, so I'll just close my eyes and then I'll be asleep fine. But if you've ever come to the gym, lost a bit of weight, got a bit stronger, and then all of a sudden you go, I feel wicked when I do this. Like, when I put those habits in place, I feel awesome now. Why didn't I do that before? This is true of sleep. So these things, just putting earplugs in, you think, oh, I'm not going to wear earplugs, I'm not interested. Actually, it might make a difference. Oh, what? Spraying some lavender on my pillow is never going to help. Actually, it might make a difference. And this could be the difference between you feeling groggy every day and all of a sudden you having loads more energy.
Powerful.
There's no harm.
Supplementation. Does anybody take any supplementation for the sleep? What do you take?
Just sometimes calms and stuff like that. Just to
Okay. To calm you.
calm down.
Interesting. Anything? Other?
No.
Have you ever taken anything?
No.
Okay, great. Let's move on. So, first one I want to touch on. Who remembers this? What is it? What does it do? Don't read that.
I said that to you before.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I said, if you ask them what melatonin is, they're going to be like, it's a hormone, that's hence it's still written on you, it's a projector.
So it's a hormone that our body naturally produces, and essentially I said, what are the things that actually slows that process down? What are the things that doesn't allow it to happen? Stress, anxiety, okay? So we need to make sure that we're getting out of those states in order to keep producing that. Helps regulate when you feel drowsy at night, and it comes in many forms: tablets, liquid, patches, sprays, and gummies.
If you're pregnant or breastfeeding women, you should avoid using melatonin without first consulting your doctor. There has not been sufficient research into the safety of melatonin amongst this population, just as a disclaimer. Okay.
To ensure its safe usage, it is always a good idea to obviously consult with your doctor as well. It's not something us as coaches would prescribe. It's something we would advise that we've used before and it worked for us. And you can take that with a pinch of salt, whether you trial things like that yourself. Magnesium. I've been taking this particular magnesium supplement for some time now, and it's particularly aimed towards anxiety, relaxation, to really get us utilising all aspects of those stages of sleep. It's very, very important that we look at that. That's probably one of the ones that I would truly recommend. Helps with the sleep regulation, improves symptoms of insomnia, essential for more than 300 processes in your body, maintains a healthy immune system. So it's got a lot of these other things involved. It's not just towards sleep. So have a look at the benefits of that. You can see there's a list of magnesium-based foods there as well. What does it mean for you if you're going to increase your magnesium?
Better night's sleep, lower stress and anxiety levels, be less likely to become ill, improve muscle building, which is a lot of the reason why many of us come to the gym, normalise your blood pressure and increase your strength. So like I was saying, it's useful for lots of other processes, not just getting to sleep.
Quick look there.
Quick one there.
Yeah.
Normalised blood pressure, is that from a low and an eye perspective or just from an eye?
I would have to confirm that, but I would personally suggest it does help with from both angles, normalising from both. But I will confirm that with you.
In the most part with supplementation, your body just wastes the bits that it doesn't need. So like, it's probably going to sound ridiculous, but if you ever take too many supplements, you notice that when you go for a weight, it's like lime coloured or whatever. That's you wasting what it doesn't need. Your body's quite good at regulating what it does need. So I'm sure that you can confirm for definite.
Yeah,
but
we'll
generally, with supplementation, your body takes what it needs in order to regulate you, which is why they're recommended in a generic capacity. So yeah, consult your doctor, but you can get hold of them over the counter, and that's why, because they generally regulate every person individually.
Lavender, we did discuss that with the lavender sprays. Quick small study. We didn't hold this study. It's something we found on from a
we
trusted
found
source.
a cheeky 221 people and started giving them loads of lavender.
In Barlick Town Centre. 221 people with anxiety disorder was given 80 milligram of lavender oil supplement and or a placebo per day. By the end of the 10-week study, both groups had experienced improvements in the quality and the duration of their sleep. However, the lavender group experienced a 14 to 24% greater improvement of their sleep overall. Reported unpleasant side effects. Through the lavender aromatherapy is considered safe. The oral intake of lavender has also been linked to nausea and stomach pain in some cases, so don't just go and find a lavender plant and start chowing down on that. It's also worth noting that only a limited number of studies could be found with the effects of lavender supplementation on sleep. More research is actually needed in order to back that up. But again, there's no harm in trying certain things in order to try and improve these areas.
Yeah.
Glycine. Okay, glycine is an important amino acid that plays an important role.
Well, quick there, I thought he was going to leave that to me to say. And I was like, I can't even say it properly. Not me.
It's an important role that it plays within the nervous system. So when you've trained quite a lot through the week or the day, have you ever felt quite like you've been hit by a bus and that you think, I'm super tired, I really need a rest day? That's your central nervous system that essentially has been broken down. Glycine is an amino acid. Where does amino acids come from? What food group? Macro. I feel like I'm about to go to sleep. Can you anybody hear that music on the background?
Get some of this. Get some of this.
Amino acids are found in proteins, whether that is plant-based, whether that is meat, etc. Our body, there's 20 essential amino acids, and this is one of them that we need to make sure we're using to help improve. There is no actual understanding of how it actually works, but it's improving the lowering of the body temperature at bedtime, signaling it's time to sleep.
Fall asleep faster. Help the participants fall asleep faster. Get it done.
Awesome. So participants had their sleep restricted for 3 consecutive nights. Each night before bedtime, they took either 3 grams of glycine or 3 grams of placebo. The glycine group actually reported greater reductions in fatigue and daytime sleepiness. So that's one to be mindful of. But remember, if we're trying to increase our protein intake, you're going to be naturally increasing the amino acids in your system anyway. Foods that you can find that in. Animal products such as bone broth, meat, eggs, poultry and fish, beans, spinach, kale, cabbage, fruits and bananas. Who gets plenty of this stuff in their diet? Import. Sarah, where would you say you're missing?
I hate bananas.
Do you?
Yeah, I love it, and I wish I liked it.
That is,
People love it.
that's the top 2 fruit,
They're really
top
good,
tier
like,
fruit.
Yeah, they're really good for like training or before
Everything.
work. I hate them.
Potassium, post-training,
Oh,
boom.
no, not for me.
All right, Tasha,
Yeah, I
two
was
more.
telling you about kiwis the other day. Did you get any?
Did you
No,
eat
I'm
them?
going
No,
down,
they
I'm
were
going down
rock
Sainsbury's.
solid.
I'm going down Sainsbury's to go and buy a bag of kiwis. But why are you driving 15 minutes to go get a bag of kiwis?
Quick question, who eats kiwis the skin on or skin off?
What? I thought you were supposed to do the little teeth.
No, chew them. There's a lot of nutrients in the skin. Anyway, let's move on. Sleep tracking. Who here tracks their sleep? We're nearly done, Dan.
I do it. Yeah.
Okay, and how did you track it? What particular thing did you do to track that? Watch. Apple, specifically, is that linked to your phone? Okay, does the phone need to be near the bed, or is it purely just via the watch itself?
By the watch.
Interesting. What did it teach you? What did you learn from it?
The levels of deep sleep were actually quite low.
Mm-hmm.
And I was more in maybe 3.
Okay.
You know, the 2 to 3 element.
Yeah.
But there was no set band. In the case of there were a lot of fluctuation all the way through the night.
And why did you start tracking sleep in the first place?
Interested in it.
Okay. Did you improve your sleep after tracking it?
No, I wouldn't say I did.
Okay. Interesting. There's a few things we'll touch on in this in the sleep tracking, the pros and cons.
I think that I learned from it was like how little I was getting. I was thinking I go to bed at 10 and then I wake up at 10 I'm like, right, I'm in bed for 8 hours. I get 8 hours of sleep, but it's nonsense. Like, I was getting, like, when I last tracked properly, I had like 6 hours, 15 minutes average, which is like really on the low end of what I should be getting, especially with all the activity I do. But then equally, did I then immediately go and improve it? It's always like, the next night, tonight I will, and then that thing needs doing, whatever, so.
I get 7.5 to 8 hours every night, roughly.
Nice. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, why should you track your sleep? Sleep tracking is a powerful tool to give you an insight into the in-depth of your sleep, the quality of it, the amount of sleep you're having, the percentage of in each stages of cycles that you're having, lifestyle factors and environmental aspects as well. A few benefits.
Oh, go on then. All right. It's useful to give feedback to whether you need to improve it. It takes the guesswork out, like, God, I'm feeling knackered today, why? And then you look at it and you find out you have 4.5 hours of decent sleep, you're like, oh, there we go. And it allows for informed decisions on your health and gives you a bit of structure and routine, because a lot of the times you can like set an alarm and it'll tell you to go upstairs to bed 15 minutes before or whatever. And you know, some alarms, I've never used them myself because I always need to get up at a specific time, but they can sense when you're drifting out of sleep and then wait for the optimum moment to set an alarm to wake you up, which is pretty clever. If you've got the luxury of being able to do that, it might help you. Potential downside, your life revolves around apps. I assume that's why you're asking if the phone needs to be by your bed while you've got the watch on or whatever. It takes out subjective thought. A lot of people come on your wrist if you're wearing it all the time. Depends on you where you watch all the time, I suppose, yeah.
I have a little reminder on my phone that goes 15 minutes to sleep time.
It also shuts down your apps.
Yeah.
And do you go to bed when that comes on?
Not always, no.
No, I don't. It goes on, I go, right, turn that off.
I'm opposite. I hear that on their phone, and I say about 15 minutes later, I'm out.
Gone. A quick one on the subjective aspect of sleep. So, subjective means how you wake up is your own perceived aspect of how your sleep went. So essentially, the tracking takes out that. So you could actually wake up and feel absolutely mega. You might have had a fantastic sleep, but your app is telling you otherwise. It's saying, well, actually, mate, you only had this amount of sleep, and this is how you're potentially going to feel today. So you're second guessing your own internal thought process of actually how I feel waking up. So just bear that in mind if you are going to track. It's not necessarily meaning it's gospel. Go off how you subjectively feel about the sleep.
I'm going to say I didn't actually look at the results until the tea time of the following day.
Interesting. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a really good
You
idea.
just do your day and
Yeah.
then you go, oh, actually.
When
Yeah.
I'm settling down for that night, I'd actually look at how the previous night was.
Mm.
It's not a bad idea.
Interesting.
Good. So is sleep tracking accurate? Results of the study showed that most of the commercial sleep trackers either overestimate or underestimate the total time you sleep. Like even like saying with your exercise, like guessing your heart rate and stuff like that, they're not bob on. They are just taking an estimate. Especially if it's just a phone that's near your bed, it's just listening to you sleep. They tend to be less accurate than ones on your wrist because they're monitoring your heart rate. How does sleep tracking work? Watches and trackers go on two things: heart rate and motion of arm movements. So that's why the watches are a little bit more accurate than your phone.
The only thing that I found with that is if you have like yourself a very low heart rate, it actually said they were asleep when it wasn't.
Wow.
Interesting. So were you advised on any other way to try and track that then from an actual heart rate monitor aspect?
Yeah, the only way they could do it was when they had the heart rate monitors
Yeah,
on.
interesting,
They
yeah.
actually give a proper definition of tracking.
Mm. So again, that's a big one. Consulting with your doctor if you really need to try and improve these areas, then
They're going to know what's best.
Absolutely.
For you, yeah.
sleep time appeared most accurate in data produced by Fitbit and Aura. Aura is it's a ring. Aura is an Aura ring, that's very less intrusive as a watch itself. So that is a good one to be watching out for. What's the next step for tracking your sleep? There are thousands of products and apps available.
Just give them a go. Check it out, get the app, have a go. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. It's one of those things like trying the lavender spray, trying the earplugs. See if they work for you. You can try Calm's it won app of the year for 5 years on the trot. So they must be doing something right.
Okay.
Key point, we're wrapping.
This is it. This is the last one.
I'm actually really glad that you were looking a little bit tired.
We've bored you, haven't we?
Ooh, no, we're not going to bed right now.
Yeah.
There you go, exactly. Well, we're going to bed about now. We're not going to sleep, Sasha, obviously. 35% of individuals in the UK said that lack of proper sleep made them anxious.
You should be looking at paying attention to how much sleep you get as opposed to how much sleep you're having.
Good sleep hygiene will improve your overall bedtime routine, daily habits, sleep quality, improved energy and mindset.
Take this one from me. It not only improves your sleep, but it also improves your relationships as well. Switch off at least 30 minutes before bed. So I'll make sure there is a gap between I finish the last email or the last message between me then going to bed. Work, emails, TV, social media, etc.
Magnesium is a great tool for sleep quality. Carl's experienced that myself. And sleep tracking is a great way to give you an overview of your sleep quality and suggested improvements.
Awesome, guys. Do you have, or what questions do you have for us?
The only question is just what I did earlier this year, and you're aware of, is that I took out caffeine completely. And they said before 2 o'clock, that had the biggest impact on my sleep. That's why my sleep quality has actually improved tenfold.
See, that's the goal, isn't it?
The
Imagine
goal-
never having a
well,
monster again.
He inspired me, and I went to one caffeine product today, and it worked. But then, lo and behold, habits, behaviours. I need that. I feel a bit tired.
Yeah.
So it's the association behind almost physically clicking it open, drinking that you associate with.
You feeling more awake afterwards? Is that product helping you?
Absolutely.
Or are you just thinking, oh, I feel awake now,
Worked,
because
placebo.
I've had-"
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I like that. Anything else? Are there anything you guys are going to take away from that tonight?
Are you going to do the cycles? Come on. Work out the cycles 90 minutes at a time. Trust me. Trust. You don't need to do all of them. If you can get any of them, it's available on the hub. You can ask us. Maybe like trial one and then like catch up with each other and say, oh, I've been trying this, it's been working, go on, have that lavender spray and do a thing for me. Whatever it is that works for you, because then you can share your experiences and hopefully you're all going to come in looking fresh tomorrow.
Awesome. How's that feel, guys? All right, yeah? Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening.
Thank you very much.
Like, this is amazing for us to be able to, share your time with us, and for us to coach you on this. It's an important one. These will be going live. The nutrition one will be live this weekend on your members area. So if you want to go over and have a recap, this will be going on as well. I'm going to do it all in one. Dan's going to upload them for us. So again, thank you. The next one for us next month is a stress seminar. Sarah's really going in depth in regards to having a look at stress, where it originates from. If we can find the root cause of stress, then we would probably be billionaires. So we're going to try and find that out. What's that?
My biggest one,
Work.
Yeah.
But we'll touch on that. In fact, quick overview. What is stress? Is work the stress? What or not? What is the stress?
I'm not going to tell you now because I want you to come to the seminar.
Yes. Excellent, guys. Thank you.
It's going to
How many times do we say bye?
It's the best one.
See, guys, thank you so much for that.
Thank
For real.
you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Brilliant, guys. Thanks.